Welcome to I Got a Guy podcast, a podcast carefully designed to introduce a wide range of very talented and highly skilled professionals ready to share their knowledge and advice with you. Please welcome the host of I Got a Guy podcast, Michael Drelicharz. Welcome to I Got a Guy podcast. I'm your host, Michael Drelicharz. Thank you so much for being here. To our loyal listeners that have been listening each and every week, we really appreciate it. Appreciate all the downloads and the sharing of our podcasts on your social media feeds and getting the information out to the world at large. If you're new to I Got a Guy podcast, welcome. And encourage you to check out igotaguypodcast.com for past episodes. Certainly see a list of all the guests that we've had on the show in the past. See a brief snippet, kind of a synopsis of what the show entails, and see if that episode fits for you. It's also information on how to contact each and every one of our guests if you want to reach out and inquire more about their services. So I encourage you to go to igotaguypodcast.com for all those past episodes. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, we're always willing to have a conversation with somebody to be a guest. So fill out the contact form that you find on our website and share some information. Let's see how we can include you in as a future guest to the show and share your information with our audience. So we're thrilled to do that, and our audience is growing each and every week. So we're really excited about that. So but just certainly check out I Got a Guy podcast for all the back episodes, previous episodes, and gain all that knowledge. So this week, we're not going to have an outside guest coming in. I'm going to be talking about my primary business, which is GPS tracking. I own Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions, full-service GPS tracking company. And we're going to talk about this. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, we're recording this at the end of 2023. And I really want to reflect on a tremendous year we've had in 2023. Not only was I Got a Guy podcast very successful this year, but Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions was also a very successful year. We've grown tremendously. We're serving a lot of great customers, and we're providing a lot of really valuable services. So I want to touch on some of that today to help those that may not be familiar with Precise Fleet Tracking become a little bit more familiar how we might be able to provide value. We are not a one-size-fits-all type company. There are some companies that don't need our services, and that's okay. But it's always good to know what's out there and be knowledgeable of what's in the market. And so if things change, we can provide some value. And I'll touch on that here in a moment. The other thing I want to do is focus in on an industry that we have had a lot of success with, and that is the landscaping industry. We have participated in a trade show, the Landscape Trade Association trade show. They have 2 trade shows a year. We did participate in both trade shows in 2023 and met some really amazing individuals and companies and businesses that we'd be able to serve. And so we've done a lot of work within the landscape industry, and we will continue to do that. We are going to be exhibiting at the iLandscape trade show coming up in January of 2024. January 31st, actually February 1st and February 2nd. So 3 days, the end of January in Schaumburg, Illinois. So if you are in a landscape business and you'll be at the trade show, I would encourage you to stop by booth 109. That's where we'll be. And if you mention this podcast, the I Got a Guy podcast, to me or my associate that will be in the booth with me, I'll give you a special gift as a thank you for your loyalty. So stop by booth 109 and mention that you've heard about us on the I Got a Guy podcast, and you'll receive a special gift from us. So I'm going to mention that at the end of the show as well, just to remind you not to forget that part. But it's important that we connect the dots and we show our appreciation. And so I want to do that by thanking our loyal listeners that pop by the trade show at that point. So let's talk about the landscaping industry, because I've worked with a number of landscapers, and I want to use this as an example. When we think about the world of landscape contracting, landscapers, they start out small. They have a couple trucks, a couple assets, and then they add a few more mowers, and they add a couple more trailers and a few more trucks. But these these assets are very valuable and very critical to the success of their business. The threat of theft is a reality that really can't be taken lightly. And if, as a business owner, if you've ever lost sleep worrying about the security of these expensive pieces of machinery, now might be the time to face the harsh reality that without proper protection, you're really playing a dangerous game with the livelihood of your business. So if these units are stolen, you can't perform your business, and that's difficult. So when you think about it, if you arrive on a job site and your critical Bobcat happened to be stolen overnight, now what do? You have to file a police report, file an insurance claim, maybe go out and rent another piece of equipment, but you lose time and it's very expensive to do so. So, first of all, there's the financial loss of replacing that asset. Whether you have to buy a new one, file an insurance claim, get reimbursed, rent the equipment, etc., it really cuts into the bottom line. There's operational disruptions. During that time when you're replacing it, you can't perform the job that you needed to do. And so it sets you behind in your project. And that could, a lot of these businesses are really busy. And the last thing you can do is afford to lose a day of productivity or 2 days of productivity. When you do have a loss of a piece of equipment, you file an insurance claim. Insurance companies, they're in a tough business. They really don't like when there's recurring thefts, and it gets very expensive. Expensive for them, and then in turn it becomes very expensive for you, not only in deductibles paid, but in increased insurance premiums. So, and obviously you also run the risk of being dropped by your insurance carrier if you have too many claims. So there's that insurance cost that really cuts into the business. You certainly have a risk of dissatisfied client if you can't complete the job on time because you don't have the equipment to do so. You could end up with a dissatisfied customer, which is not ideal for any business. And then you have your reputation. Nobody wants a reputation in the world of not completing jobs on time. We always want to be doing our jobs as efficiently as possible and under committing and over delivering and serving our customers better than we anticipated. But the other component with a reputation is if you have a business that has some vulnerabilities and a theft occurs, there have been situations where a second theft will occur, or maybe a third theft will occur, and each time it seems to more and more assets get stolen. The word gets out in the underground, and these thieves start communicating, and all of a sudden you become a target, and that's not good for any business. So it's really important to just to be aware of these aspects and look at how we can protect your assets and using GPS tracking technology to do that. So I encourage you, if any of these scenarios ring true to you, I encourage you to reach out to Precise Fleet Tracking Solution. Let's have a conversation. And as I mentioned, it's not always a fit for everybody, but the reality is it's a fit for a lot of businesses. And if you have a concern, we'd love to have the conversation and see if we can be of any value. There are many advantages of utilizing GPS tracking technology. And again, not just in the landscape industry, but in all sorts of industries. And we work with so many industries today. We just happen to have a bit of a concentration in the landscape industry, but we serve delivery companies and towing companies and plumbing companies, roofing companies, etc., and junk hauling companies, recycling companies, all types of businesses. And we're happy to work with all of them. But let's talk about some of the reasons, some of the benefits of deploying GPS tracking technology. First of all, you have the ability to recover an asset should it be stolen. So if you have a theft, you notify the police, you let them know that there's GPS tracking installed, and here happens to be the location of that asset at this moment in time. Our assets update every 60 seconds. Our system will refresh every 15 seconds, but every 60 seconds, our assets will ping its location. and I know exactly where it's located, and the police have a good chance of recovering that asset for you. You get 24-hour, 7-day-a-week monitoring of these assets. So you can receive real-time alerts. You can be provided instant notifications. There could be geofencing. So if it leaves a certain area and it's not supposed to, you can be notified. We have a lot of different notification tools available to be designed to meet your needs. So not every business uses geofencing, but if that would be a benefit, we certainly can configure that for you. But you have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access to this data on your computer and on your smartphone. There are some scenarios where just having GPS tracking on an asset or in a vehicle can deter theft, and we've seen that as well. So if a criminal is going to steal an asset, they'd rather go for the low-hanging fruit and the easy access to an asset that doesn't have GPS tracking. So there could be some value received just by deterring them to something else. You do run the chance of reducing your insurance costs. Many insurance companies like GPS tracking. There are some that offer a discounted premium, some that just won't necessarily, in underwriting, they won't necessarily improve or increase your premiums as much if you have GPS tracking because their risk is lower. So insurance companies are all about the risk balance. And if you have GPS tracking, there's less chance that you'll have a lost asset because of the tracking. So I encourage you to speak with your insurance carrier. If you would like to speak to a new insurance carrier, I work with many of them. I network with many of them. So I certainly can make an introduction to an insurance provider that could maybe offer a better savings, whether it be a discount because of the tracking or other items. We certainly can have that conversation. So I can make the introduction if necessary. But potentially reducing insurance costs is a component and a benefit of utilizing GPS tracking for sure. And then, of course, where we really got started with GPS tracking is from an operational efficiency standpoint. This goes well beyond security, and this helps. We really help businesses run more efficiently. Knowing where your assets are, knowing where your vehicles are and your drivers, keeping your drivers safe, knowing if you have to dispatch, if you have to reroute somebody throughout the day, knowing where these are without calling every driver to find out where they're located. If you're looking for a delivery, we can pinpoint this on a map for you, and this information can be very, very valuable to a lot of businesses. Another component happens to be maintenance monitoring. We've had a few clients over the years that have reached out to us after they have lost an engine in one of their vehicles, and they realized that they weren't monitoring their maintenance like they should be, and they seized up engines. And I can recall off the top of my head 3 different companies that have called me and inquired about GPS tracking after they lost an engine. So what we do is with our tracking, we set up the maintenance monitoring, and your mechanic can be notified every time an asset is due for an oil change or some maintenance to extend the life of their vehicle. If we can help a business extend the life of their vehicles by a couple years, you don't have to replace these vehicles as frequently because they're being maintained as efficiently and as prudently as possible, getting the most life out of these vehicles. That really contributes to the bottom line of the business, and that's really important. These vehicles are not inexpensive, and like I said, if you can get a couple more years out of each asset, each vehicle, why not? So our maintenance monitoring is really an important component that a lot of businesses use to get the most out of their vehicles. And one other thing we didn't touch on with operational efficiency is engine idling. Engine idling, it really serves very little purpose to most businesses. There's some that need to keep the engine idling when the vehicles are on the road. Maybe it's a refrigerated box truck, and you need to keep the air conditioning running in the box. Certainly understand that. But in many businesses, the engines don't need to be running while the vehicle is parked. And when they do run, every hour that a vehicle idles wastes about a gallon of fuel. And whether you idle an hour a week or 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week, the wasted fuel can add up very significantly. And so just helping business owners monitor that component and control that and contain the wasted engine idling would be really beneficial to the bottom line of the business. And in many cases, it actually, the savings in fuel pays for the GPS tracking and then some. So the return on investment is very, very short for GPS tracking because of all these different components that contribute to the bottom line of the business. So we have so many business owners that really rely on us to help their business be more profitable and more productive, and we're very proud of that. And we're very thankful that we're able to provide these tools and help these businesses really generate additional profits and grow their business in a very controlled manner, very manageable. So the reality comes down to if any of these aspects resonate with you in any way, I encourage you to reach out to Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. Now, you can reach us via our website, which is precisefleettracking.com. Precisefleettracking.com. You can call us at 847-865-6008. That's 847-865-6008. Or you can email me at michael@precisefleettracking.com. That's michael@precisefleettracking.com. I'll put this information in our show notes. It'll be on the screen here for our YouTube viewers, our Rumble viewers. You'll see the information on the screen, but it'll be in our show notes as well for our audio listeners. And you can certainly reach out to us whenever you have a need. Certainly want to have a foundational discussion, kind of help you understand how we can benefit your business and see if it's a fit. It may not be a fit today, maybe a fit down the road. So we're gonna take a quick short break here, come back, and we're gonna talk a little bit more in detail about how Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions is different than so many other GPS tracking companies, and we're gonna talk about that in more detail. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in about a minute or so, and we'll continue our conversation. We certainly hope you're enjoying this week's episode, and we'll return to this week's guest in just a moment. But now a message from our sponsor, Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. If you own a fleet of vehicles, even if it's just 2 or 3 vehicles, GPS tracking is an important component for every vehicle. Here are the 5 top reasons companies invest in GPS tracking: driver safety, vehicle location, driver behavior, proof of service, and monitoring vehicle maintenance. Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions can enhance your growth and profit through the use of GPS tracking technology. Reach out to Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions at www.precisefleettracking.com. That's precisefleettracking.com. Or call 847-865-6008. That's 847-865-6008. Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. GPS tracking made simple. Now, let's get back to the show. Okay, we are back. Thank you. This is Michael Drelicharz, host of I Got a Guy podcast, and our guest presenter today. We're talking all about GPS tracking, which is something that I'm very passionate about, and it's very near and dear to my heart. We've been serving clients for many years now, a little more than 5 years, and we have a tremendous track record, and we're very proud of how we do our service, how well we serve our customers. Before the break, we talked a lot about why companies would deploy GPS tracking and how specifically landscape companies utilize our GPS tracking for benefits of their business. It's spread across all businesses, not just the landscape business, but many other businesses are well served by GPS tracking. But now I wanted to kind of shift and talk a little bit about how we are different, how Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions is different. You can go online and find hundreds of different types of companies that sell GPS tracking. You can buy GPS tracking online, but oftentimes many of these units you can buy online are static units. They're not active, which means there's not a cellular module inside of those units, and you can tell when they are static if there is no recurring fee to the units. Some of them you purchase up front, capital expenditure, and there's no monthly recurring fee associated with it. Those are considered static devices. They're not active, and they do not provide the same level of service, because you can't log into a website and see where your units are, because there's no communication inside of those. So you want to steer clear of those units, because they really, in the theft of an asset, you have nothing, because you have to, in those units, you have to actually access those units directly to download information. And if it's stolen, you don't have it. So you want to be aware of that component. But when we think about the active units, and there are many active units on the market, Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions serves this market differently than almost every other company. And I'm going to share 3 main bullet points of why we are different and how we built our company differently to be more beneficial to our clients. First of all, we are extremely knowledgeable. We are trained and we're skilled, and we know our technology. We update ourselves regularly, weekly. We are in training to learn more about what's going on and new solutions. We share information with from our provider. We gain information from them on the types of solutions that are being deployed, but we are working regularly to become even better and always always building on our knowledge base. So we are very current with our knowledge. We are a very accessible company. All right, we don't have a call center overseas. We don't hide behind a toll-free number. We speak with our customers directly. We meet with our customers face to face. Many of our customers are here in the Chicagoland area, and obviously we meet with these customers regularly. We have many customers outside the Chicagoland area. We will dispatch installers to meet with those clients. I will travel to those clients when necessary, and we want to build relationships with those clients as well. But we don't hide behind a toll-free number. Each of my clients has my direct cell phone number, and if a question comes up, we serve them right then and there. I've received many phone calls on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, holidays, asking questions. Maybe there was an accident, or there's a need for getting information in an expeditious way. I do what I can at that point in time, whether I'm on vacation, I am traveling, whether it's a weekend. If a customer needs support, I'm always accessible and I always help them. Just recently, we had a couple scenarios where 2 different clients had accidents in their vehicles, and they wanted to access the video feeds from their dash cams, and I helped them do that, even though it was after hours. In one case, it was before hours, 7:00 in the morning. But we do what we need to do to help serve these clients, and that is different in the marketplace. Many businesses try to make their business more self-service than not. And I believe that self-service is great, maybe when you're at the grocery store, but self-service with a tool like GPS tracking is not necessarily the best way to grow a business and best way to serve your clients. So we are very hands-on, and we're very accessible, and we're also very responsive. Again, I do answer my phone on the weekends, on holidays, at night, early in the morning. I don't ignore a phone call because a client needs some services. I just think it's important. If I were a GPS tracking customer, that's how I'd want to be served, and that's why we built our company around that foundation, to be very accessible and be responsive and be responsible. And we feel that Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions really is the epitome of how a company should be serving their customers. And I have a very high amount of loyalty with my client base. My clients are very happy with the service that we provide. Many of them have used GPS tracking from other carriers and other providers, and then switched over to Precise Fleet Tracking, and we're amazed with how well we serve our client base. We do things differently. And so we're very proud of that, and we work very hard, and we're not trying to be the biggest. GPS tracking provider in the market. We're just here to grow and to become the best for those that we serve. And hopefully we can serve you as well. If we don't provide you GPS tracking today, maybe we can provide you GPS tracking in the near future. We're happy to do it, and we're very proud of the level of service that we provide and the way we care for our customers. As I mentioned, recently I've had a few clients that have reached out. One, in fact, I had been talking with for several years about GPS tracking. Had a small business that had a few vehicles, and I encouraged him to deploy GPS tracking. He felt he didn't need it at that point in time, which was fine. We continued the conversation. I check in with him regularly just to say hi and see if we can provide any value. Well, just a few days ago, he emailed me and said, well, now I have multiple offices and now I have 7 vehicles and I think I need GPS tracking. That's wonderful. And we are here to help him and serve him and provide the data and the tools that he needs now that he is growing his business. And I'm confident that he came to me because I was not pushing aggressive. I did not try to talk him into something they didn't need. I simply provided the knowledge that we had, the tools that we had, shared with him the details, and when he was ready, I knew he would reach out to me. And 3+, maybe it was 4 years ago now, since we started the conversation. So 3 or 4 years later, he reached out and said, okay, now I'm ready. And that's awesome because we are here for him. And we're here for all types of businesses like that. So we really encourage our listeners to just become knowledgeable of what is out there and what could be what could be if the need is there. And if it's not, that's okay. It doesn't have to be. So we are not trying to be all things to all people, but we're very proud of the service that we provide and the knowledge that we share and the end results that our clients get. So, sadly, many of our clients come to us after they have experienced some trauma. I recently had a client that I had been speaking with for actually when I first got started 5 years ago. He was one of the first prospects I met with, a gentleman I've known for several years. And he just recently lost a Bobcat due to theft. And he replaced the Bobcat, and now he came and we equipped all his Bobcats and some of his trucks with GPS tracking. So sadly, he had to lose a Bobcat before he decided that it was time to protect all of his assets. We're just happy to be able to provide that value and provide the service to our clients, and at whatever time frame meets their needs. There's not a one size fits all, and we're here. But replacing a Bobcat, I think these Bobcats can run $60 or $70, maybe $80,000 to replace them. So he actually bought a few new ones. He replaced the one that was stolen and replaced a few new ones, and so now they're all protected. So these are important components, and it's important to their business and to the businesses, and so we want to help these businesses grow. So again, if you have any interest in learning more about Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions, I really encourage you to reach out to us. You can find us on our website at precisefleettracking.com. That's precisefleettracking.com. You can call us at 847-865-6008. That's 847-865-6008. Or email me at michael@precisefleettracking.com. michael@precisefleettracking.com. Real simple. So we're very accessible, and you can reach us in lots of different ways. So I encourage you to do that, and I encourage you to share this podcast with your spheres of influence, people you know. Maybe you don't own a small business, but maybe your neighbor does, or your relative might own a small business that has vehicles, or may have experienced some theft of assets. Share this, whether you saw us on social media, on Facebook or LinkedIn, or you just downloaded our podcast. Share this podcast, share this link with as many as you can. It helps us grow, and helps us serve more people. And that's really why we're here. So again, if you want to listen to any past podcast episodes, go to igotaguypodcast.com. That's igotaguypodcast.com, and reach out to us with any questions. So as we wrap up 2023 here and get into 2024, I want to thank everyone for the loyalty. And again, if you are in the landscape industry and you will be going to the iLandscape show in January 31st, February 1st, and February 2nd of 2024, I know it's only a few weeks from now, but if you're going to be there and you're listening to our podcast, stop by booth 109 and tell us that you heard about us on I Got a Guy podcast, and you'll receive a special gift from us. So please stop by the booth if you are, and if you happen to be listening to the show after the trade show has expired and long gone, we'll be around, and we still would love to hear from you. Tell us about how you found us, and when you listen to us on the podcast, and just stay in touch. Reach out to us, and we'd love to serve. So again, I'm Michael Drelicharz, host of I Got a Guy podcast and owner of Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. So thank you for your time today. Appreciate your attention, and we'll look forward to speaking with you very soon, next week's episode, and hope you all make it a great day. Take care. Thank you for listening to I Got a Guy podcast. For past podcasts and more information, go to igotaguypodcast.com. That's igotaguypodcast.com. Please share this podcast on your social media feeds and tune in again next week to I Got a Guy podcast.